Hi guys, good morning and welcome back to the channel. It's Sunday morning and we're on our way, as you can probably guess from the helmet, to a time trial, and it's the Leiden Plaque, which is an interclub time trial, and I'm on my way to Roxton Village Hall, which is where we started our time trial journey of this year when I did the hard riders. It's a lovely sunny bright morning, but it was very wet and wild last night. There was a thunderstorm last night, so lots of thunder and lightning. The roads are a bit damp, but here we go at the village hall. So here is the Leiden Plaque, and the first shield here, won by the Oxonian CC Club, cycling club, in 1953. So quite a bit of history within this shield. Each shield here has got the name of the winning club and the year, so count them all up, that's how many years it's been running. It probably wouldn't have run some years for various reasons, but yeah, quite a historical competition this between the clubs of Oxfordshire. Lovely still morning. Temperature's not too high, but fine for cycling in just shorts and short sleeves. Very fresh after the rain and the storm last night. Yeah, it's a really nice morning. Right, let's just do a little stroll up and down the road for a bit. Riding back to the start line. Done about a 5-mile warm-up there. Not too worried about warm-up, it's not a big field. It's not particularly cold anyway. So, see if we can capture some riders approaching. Not that rider. This guy with the flashing light here would be number one. Yeah, number one. Up, 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 go! That was Bella. And started here.
Get behind. 10 seconds. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go!
Go, go, go! Clipped in, right. Right, here we are then. Go! Thank you. Oh, clipped it there very nicely. And we're off. Hi guys, and welcome back to the audio commentary of the 10-mile time trial. Sit back and relax for the most exciting 25 minutes of entertainment you'll have all evening. Let's get some tunes on the way. So here we are, we're going along the Warwick Road. It's basically a long sort of draggy section until we get to the first left-hand turn. So it's pretty hard going. There's not really much of a wind about, so I can't use that as an excuse for going slow. It's just basically a really kind of like gradual uphill that kind of wears you out really. First of all, let's have a look at the visual here. My hands at the top of the screen look like they're illuminated and kind of like almost they're superimposed. It's because I've got a front light, so if you're TTing these days in the UK, you have to have a front light. And usually I have it rigged up so it's underneath the bars, but today I've got the light above the bars, so it's basically just shining on my hands. So that's kind of a strange visual effect there at the top of the screen. So let's have a look. There's a sign here for Shotswell on the right. So that's a lovely village down Shotswell. That's where they've got the cake shed down there. If you're ever in Banbury and you're kind of out of the way and fancy a little cake stop, just down there on the right is the cake shed, and you can just pay on card for a slice of cake. It's about £1.25, something like that. That's pretty cool. I vlogged that in my Shotswell show vlog. And then there's another turn, so that's Shotswell second turn, and I think this is Shotswell first turn here, that you can loop around to. So you can see the roads are a little bit damp, but not too worried about the grip. It's pretty straight here. There's not any sharp turns, so we're absolutely fine. So this is the first kind of like ramp that we go up here. I tend to kind of take this out of the saddle, but for some reason today I decided to stay on the saddle. My speed probably slows down to about 19 miles an hour. Back in the day when I was a little bit stronger on the TT bike, I used to just pound it up here out of the saddle, and I wouldn't fall below like 22 miles an hour. And just on the right up here, I think we've got a guy called Kaale who's taking photographs, and I used one of his photos on my Strava. So Kaale's just coming up with this white car here on the right, and gives me a little shout, go go go, and taking some snaps there. Yep, thanks for that shot, Kaale. I did tag you on my Strava feed. Okay, so we're kind of over that little rise, and then just basically going as hard as you can just to get to the end of this particular section of the ride before we hit the left turn onto Camp Lane. And still it's just like a slow gradual ascent. It's only like 1% gradient, I suppose, but it just seems to be quite tiring, and when you're trying to push it as hard as you can, you kind of really feel it in the legs. But it did feel pretty good today actually, having not done too much. I did a ride yesterday where I went out to watch the Tour of Britain, but that was on the most pretty easy. Pushed it along for about 10 miles with him, but for a 40-mile ride, it was only about 10 miles that we actually went full gas. If you can hear any noise in the background, that's just Meg making something. Anyway, that's the Falcon pub there, which has some great views from the garden, the beer garden out the back. You can have some great views right across the valley. And then basically we're fast approaching now the first turn, which is a left turn onto Camp Lane. But before we do, on the right will be the National Herb Centre, which, surprise surprise, I've also vlogged. So basically vlogging everything and just talking a bit of nonsense while watching the cycling. I'm going to get better at this, but basically I bought this microphone for 20 quid off of Amazon, and I don't really know what to do with it. The idea was I could give you some top class commentary, but basically I haven't got a clue what to talk about, so perhaps it's better not to do anything at all, but still, man has a microphone, he's going to use it. There you are. So that's the hub center on the right. Warmington Hill is straight ahead, which I've been down many times in vlog, but we're going left here and we're on to Camp Lane. So this is a fun road. I really like Camp Lane. It's got great views either side, and this first section of Camp Lane, it's quite a long drag again, but once you're kind of a mile onto Camp Lane or so, there's some nice little rolling hills and you kind of pass through some woods, so it's quite picturesque. Not that you're looking around much at all, of course. On the TT bike you kind of just got your head down, looking at your computer and trying to keep as closed and compact as you can, an area as you can. But still, it's a nice road. You get the sense of the views, and you can kind of take a little glimpse to the side every now and again. And going through the woods, down, it's kind of like rolling up and down hills. Just kind of takes some of the monotony away from that long drag that you've got on the first stage of the 10, which is the Warwick Road, and this stage along here as well. It's quite hard going, and you're trying to keep the momentum going as much as you can, but the speed kind of does dip a little bit. And then once you're kind of like maybe another half mile along the road now, and then you'll be able to kind of have a bit of a respite, and then you've got two little climbs with a couple of descents, and then you will be onto the top of Edge Hill, and then go through Edge Hill Village. So let's just take a pause on the commentary here, watch a bit of the footage, and I'll rejoin you as we go through Edge Hill past the castle. go. Basically just approaching the village of Edge Hill now. These cars that have come past me, I was kind of cursing them because I know that when we hit Edge Hill, there's often a bit of a bottleneck and you can get stuck behind the cars, so I was a bit worried there'd be loads of parked cars and I'd be held up, but luckily being early in the morning there's not too much traffic around. But the pub here, the castle on the right, is super popular, and on an evening time trial, there was a marshal there, thank you. I think that was Naomi Pennington or Naomi P. Anyway, so going through Edge Hill on an evening time trial, you can get really bogged down with traffic there, and you can get held up, which is really frustrating when you're on a TT bike and you're trying to go as fast as you can, and then of course there's traffic. So I was trying to avoid getting overtaken by those cars approaching the village, but fortunately they didn't hold me up at all. So passing through Edge Hill there, I'm not a great fan of this section of road either. This always seems a bit of a drag to get up to the next left turn, which is onto the Stratford Road. But basically once you hit the Stratford Road, it's basically an opposite of the Warwick Road. So the Warwick Road is this long sort of drag uphill, where the Stratford Road on this course is kind of a gentle kind of 1-2% gradient going downhill. There's just a little kind of dip, but other than that it's quite a fast road, and basically you can push it along here knowing that the next kind of stage of the ride, the run into the finish line, which is about sort of, I guess, 3-4 miles, is this gradual descent downhill. So you really have just got to push it along here to the left turn. This car pulls out in front of me. I was thinking, like, you're going to go, you're going to go. I was thinking, are you going to slow me down? But he stuck his foot on the accelerator, then he's away, so I didn't have to worry too much about him. As you have seen, or as you haven't seen, there's no other cyclists. I didn't see any other cyclists at all on this 10. Not overtaking me, or I didn't overtake anybody either. So it was a bit of a lonely ride, but that's okay. That's what happens sometimes on a TT. That car luckily turned left, so I didn't have to slow down. Thank you to the marshal, and then onto the Stratford Road, and basically out the saddle, push along here, get the speed back up after the turn, probably hit about 24, 25, and then back down into the aero position, try and tuck in, and then go as fast as you can, basically on the home run now. And I'm probably hitting around about 27 miles an hour at this particular section, and then we're approaching the little kind of dip along the Stratford Road. Then after that dip, you really just put your foot down as much as you can, and back in the day I'd be hitting like 30 miles an hour for most of this final section, but today I was kind of holding like 26s, something like that, which seems to be my load of, well, my top speed at the moment really. I can't seem to get any quicker than that, but it'll come. One thing I did notice is that having reviewed those photographs taken by Paul, I look totally un-aero, so I can play around with my aero position, and I think that's something which I'm constantly doing as a time trialist, just trying to basically get as low but as comfortable as you can. I think I've already previously discussed how you have to sacrifice a bit of comfort maybe for aero position, but you always need to make sure you can hold that position. So there's always this kind of fine balance between getting a good position versus just being so uncomfortable that it becomes unpractical to actually ride at all. So this is the descent, this little kind of dip on the Stratford Road, probably hitting about 35, And then again, this ascent, I didn't get out of the saddle along here. Usually I would have done. I don't know why I didn't today. I just didn't feel like I needed to. Fine, so I was about 23 miles an hour just on this little sort of uphill kick. And then once you're over this, really it's just this lovely kind of gently sloping road down to the finish at Roxton. So really kind of slam it into the biggest gear you've got and just push, 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 and hard as you can all the way. There's the Indian restaurant coming up on the left, the Indian Queen. I've been there a few times. I think the club had their kind of end of TT season curry night there recently. Didn't go to that, but they're doing good Indian gear there. All good tips for TT racing in general chit chat. Here's the border back into Oxfordshire, and one thing you can notice, the trees are really starting to change colour. We are approaching autumn. There's certainly an autumnal feel to the air these days. The night's drawing in, and yeah, the trees are starting to show a bit of colour now. And here we go, push, push, push. Got to be careful, cars coming out to these right-hand turns here. And then this is one of my favourite sections really of the TT. This section here, we're approaching the Indian Queen, which will be on the left, and probably the gradient is like 2-3% downhill here, and you can hit 30 miles an hour. Even me as not a great TTer in the time trial position, I'm hitting 30. You can even hit 30 on a road bike going down here. It's great fun. It's kind of these long sort of sweeping left turn, and then a little bit of a ramp here, but you don't really feel it when you're going so quick. And then basically Indian Queen approaching on the left, this building just up here, and we've got the running to the finish. You can often feel a little bit further than you anticipate. It seems like they always stick like an extra straight in. You think it's just coming up, and then you've got kind of another 100 meters or so. But Indian Queen, and then you know you've only got about sort of 5 or 6 minutes left. puddles along here on the left, so kind of veering out into the middle of the road at some points, just trying to avoid getting a total soaking, and don't want any water to sort of grab hold of the front wheel too much. Not long to go now then, so this little lay-by here is the lay-by we used for the hard riders start point. So that's a good kind of like marker that you know that you're almost home now. So you can really start to open it up as much as possible. You don't want to leave anything in the tank, so trying to push on as hard as you can with the finish line in sight. I was feeling really good. I felt like I had a good time. Something I don't do, which I'm mindful of, really I ought to, is start the Garmin actually on the start line. So I tend to just leave my Garmin running with the warm-up and the race all in one. But I think I might start actually timing the race separately and have kind of the warm-up part and then the cool-down part and then the actual race part, so I can actually get a sense of how well I'm going. But I felt like I was flying, and I felt like I was certainly on for a PB. The legs felt really good, but actually when it came down to the actual time, I didn't do that well. But nonetheless, feeling strong, just not really getting the times. Anyway, just here now, the cars are slowing down, we're approaching the village of Roxton, so about to hit the finish line, out the saddle now. You can see the footage just rocking a bit. I'm out the saddle, push, push, push to the finish, shout out your number, boom, job done. 25 minutes for a 10 TT. Hero. No. Oh well, is what it is. It was fun. I enjoyed it. The church bells of Roxton Village ringing out on a Sunday morning. We're back at the HQ after that ride, after the race there. I felt really strong. I thought I was in for a really good time, but it wasn't that brilliant at the time. But certainly felt the legs were good. But everyone's saying it was a bit slower than normal, so I have to wait and see on the official time. It's a handicap event, so I don't know what I'll be on the handicap, and we'll see how I got on anyway. Let's go and have a look.
Thank you for this Leiden Plaque entry. Very good to get it back up and running. Sent out to lots of people, but it was only our great friends at Oxonian that have come down. So in honour of that, and to say thank you, we have, before we even get to anything else, just for a thank you for coming across and making the effort to come over, we have for each of you a Banbury Star bottle that when you go out on your club rides you can use, and you can tell everyone how you were the four that came and represented the club. So from all of us, thank you very much for coming down. So thank you.
Well done, guys. Yeah, cheers. Thank you for joining in.
I've got the numbers, I've tried to work them, I've moved the numbers around, I've added a few extra, everything I could, but whichever way I did it, I couldn't get the result I wanted. So this year's winners of the Leiden Plaque, by an average of 8 seconds, is
Wow.
Oxonian.
Oh, well done, Oxonian.
I thought you had to fire.
We'll keep that quiet for the sake of what we've done.
Hang on. You better get another photo for us. Better get another photo with the
And you've done well, because that was even with Alex here, who on his last TT of the season managed to give himself a 33-second PB.
Oh. Everyone knows this is the real prize.
Yeah. Well done, guys.
You speak to the right.
So just riding back into Banbury. Unfortunately, the club didn't win the Leiden event this year. It was very close. I think there was only 8 seconds in it overall on handicap. I did a 35.45. Sorry, a 25.45, not that slow. 25.45, which isn't fast, but I think close to my PB on the course. and everyone else was saying they're about a minute down, so comparatively I think I did kind of all right. I felt fresh, but everyone's saying it's a slow day, so it doesn't really matter too much. Anyway, that was fun. Thanks for watching, guys, and see you again next time. I'm not going to wave because I'm going downhill pretty fast on a TT bike, so see ya!